Good evening, my lovely bass heads and SQ heads. Today I decided to do something completely different that I never done before. I went online and I looked at Skar audio. So because all of my videos are concentrated towards SQ part, and recently I started to play with WinISD just to model some enclosures, and I decided just to see what is the difference between an SQ type of subwoofer and SPL type of subwoofer. So I went online, I went to Skar and I checked what series they have. So I took IX as DDX, SDR, SVR, EVL, VXF, and ZVX version 2. So I took those, and what I did, I took, just to make it simple, all of the 12 inch versions. So for example, this one, 12 inch. And what I did is I went to the specs. I grabbed all of these specs and put them into WinISD. So I took the RMS power, what is rated for. I didn't take the peak power when I entered it. And let's just see. So let's start with the IX or 9, I don't know how it's called. So I modeled this. So just to make fair, I made all of the subwoofers in the same box, kind of. So it's 2.5 cubic feet right here, and it's tuned to 32 hertz. So I think it's like if you take a prefab box or if you make it yourself, it's kind of a average size, 2.5 cubic feet, and average tune, because people are tuning anywhere from 30 to 35, so 32 hertz. And in the signal, I applied the rated power. What is it rated for? And here, instead of checking the transfer function, I'm checking the SPL. So basically how loud it is. So I'm not looking at the numbers on the left. What I'm looking for is the differences between them. No? So the first one is IX. I modeled it both in sealed and in ported enclosures, because like if you take sealed, it's very flat, and we will come back to this because this is important. And the second one is ported. So you can see there's a little bit more output. However, we're gonna go to EVL, and you can see this. So it's much more output it peaks at 33, 32 hertz, exactly where we tuned it. And it has a hump. So this is a specifications, like specific of a ported enclosure, where you have like a hump, a peak in the response. So the bigger the hump, the bigger the peak. It's called like a peaky subwoofer. And then you have like what they call a one note wonder. So if that peak is very big, that's a one note wonder. Basically the subwoofer plays one note very good and doesn't play nothing else basically. So this is the EVL, 1300 watts. Then the second one is DDX, which is like 2.5 dB louder. Then VXF, which is another 2 dB louder. Then ZVX. This one looks kind of a beastie because it has a lot of output at the top end, above 40 hertz. So you can see all the other ones are like trailing off and going down, and this one is going up. So this is it looks like to be a proper SPL sub. And what surprised me the most is this one, the SVR. So SVR, if you can see the green one, it's much flatter than the others. So this is, if I'm gonna remove all of them and I'm gonna leave only just one for comparison, yeah. So you can see how this, the green one, is much flatter and much nicer. So it plays a broader band of frequencies instead of being a one-note wonder. So if you're choosing a Skar sub and you want quality sound, a wide spectrum, go for SVR. And just for fun, what I did, I included the probably best known worldwide old school sub, which is Alpine Type R. Everybody knows it. Everybody speaks very good of it. And this is how it looks like. Red, yeah? So as you can see, the Alpine Type R has an extremely similar response to the SVR. And if you compare it to, for example, this one, yeah, or this one, those are very peaky, especially this one is going up. So if you compare this to this, all of them are very peaky apart from the SVR. And if we go back to the IX, this is not peaky as well. It has little output, but come on, it's 250 watts, so that's fine. It has little output, but it's flat-ish. But SVR, from all those Skar subs, for me, would be the choice for quality. Everything else is SPL. So ZVX is the monster in this bunch. So just to show you how a quality sub should look like. So Alpine Type X, the new one, everybody says it's like a mix between SPL and SQ. So this is how it looks like. So if I compare only the X and any one of these, because they have the same response, just different magnitude. So you can see the Type X Alpine is much flatter than anything else, so basically these two subs is basically the difference between SQ and SPL. In SQ, where you have a very broad range of frequencies playing, and in SPL you have a massive peak and it rolls down. So if you're talking about like low lows, what everybody wants, low lows, with any of these Skar subs where you have like a hump, if you can see, if you're going down to 20 hertz, the low lows, yeah, all of those subs are playing less, like in less volume, even with more power than, for example, a Type X, even Type R. If you compare Type R with the lower models of Skar, even the Type R, if you can get it, I don't know how much is in America, like in UK, it's literally 50 quid. It's super cheap and it's reliable and it's amazing. So instead of like these, even this one, instead of all of these three, I would choose a Type R any day. One thing that I wanted to mention is when I'm all of these subs, I'm gonna tick all of them again. I check the cone excursion because you don't want that sub to bottom out. So most of these subs will need a subsonic filter in a ported box, yeah. So it's like 20 hertz, 29 hertz, 8 hertz for VXF, 18. However, EVL doesn't need a subsonic filter, because if you check this, the EVL has an excursion of somewhere, I think it's 20 mil, something like that. But with the rated power, it does only 14. So that means that you could put more power into it without risking bottoming it out. And the thing is, you can put, if I go here into signal, you can put 3000 watts and it's still gonna be okay. So it's rated at 3000 watts max. So for this, for the EVL, you can double the rated power in the ported enclosure and it's still gonna be okay. And if you do that, so if you remember, I'm gonna have a look at, let's say these three, EVL, DDX, and the XF. So on rated power, it was 1.5, I think, yeah? It's the lowest performing of those three. But if you double the rated power, it becomes in the middle. Just fun fact, you know? However, if we come back to this one, the IX, which is, I didn't know where to put it, either sealed or ported. So if you put it in a sealed enclosure, yeah, it has very little volume if you compare to any other one. So this is ported and this is sealed. However, if I take my Alpine Type X, yeah, and put it in a sealed enclosure of the same dimensions, same size, look at the response. So it is similar. It has less volume, of course, because again, it's a 250 watt sub. However, it's much flatter than any other sub. So which one was it? It was this one. So this one, VFX. No, it's not this one. Sorry. SVR, yeah. So the SVR has the nicest response ported, but if you go sealed, the IX has the best sealed response. So if you have to choose Skar subs, only Skar, and you want some quality, if you're going ported, go for SVR. If you're going sealed, go for IX. It's 250 watts, so grab 3, 4, 6 of them, or how much is you can fit. I do this. And if you want to win an SPL competition, go for ZVX, no questions asked. Yeah, so I don't know how fun was that for SQheads. Probably it's more interesting for people who are choosing Skar subs, but it was just interesting for me from SQ point of view to look at some differences between these subs and different responses. If anybody will be interesting, I might do another one with I don't know, Sundown subs or any other brand. It's just because it's fun to play with this stuff. If you have any questions, just put them under the video. And if you are a base head coming just for these Skar subs and you want to learn anything new about sound quality or SQ, check out my other videos where I'm talking about other stuff. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.